we find what will likely be a contender for our very best find of 2025. I show you everything that's sold on eBay, and I pick up 2 more fantastic games for my N64 collection. I'm also announcing a big collection challenge for 2025, so stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I sold a couple of really weird things that have been sitting around for a long time. We've got this Cascade Youth Lacrosse helmet we bought for $5 and sold for $25. The next on the list, which I've had for a while, it just kind of was in a bundle of something else I bought from a thrift store, so I really don't have any money into this. It's a universal component cable. So it works with the Xbox 360, the Wii, and the PlayStation 2. Next is these. We sold these at a loss. I bought 2 pairs of these, and these have just been sitting around forever. Just because it's a popular brand, don't just buy all the crazy weird stuff that they make. That's why it was on sale at Marshall's in the first place. And the final item for today is this Grease DVD. I bought it for $1 at the thrift store. We'll make a couple bucks profit on it, and I am happy to get these out of my basement. I'm not really buying DVDs anymore. They just sell a little bit too slow, unfortunately. Despite the snow, I took a trip over to the thrift today. I looked into this steering wheel lock, but unfortunately it's a no-name brand off of Amazon. Horrible quality, and they wanted $20 for it anyway. But I did find this really nice tailor-made driver for only $10. The comps are really strong for this, selling fast for over $100. I don't normally pick up golf clubs, but if it's a slam dunk like this, I just have to buy it. All right, so I just finished recording my eBay 2024 recap video. If you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and check that out. But I did sell 3 items today as well, so we're going to go get those packed up right now. First up is this vintage handheld electronic calculator. My wife picked this up at the thrift store because she recognized it. She used to have one back in the day. Said, ooh, that's vintage. Maybe this is worth some money. We sat on it for a very long time. I think we paid about $2 for it, but we finally sold it for $18 plus shipping. Next up is this red Cascade lacrosse helmet. Season's coming up, so we keep selling through these. This one, again, we picked these up for about between $3 to $5 at the thrift store. Sold it for $17 plus shipping. And then finally is this Polo Ralph Lauren quarter zip pullover. So I do not buy clothes really very often. Early on, I was buying more of it, but I'm really just not that interested in selling men's clothes personally. Funny story about this particular item though. So it's been sitting for a very long time. I'm running sales on older items to try to get them to sell. I got an offer, a bunch of messages from somebody, and they, would you take an offer for $6? Sure. They couldn't even accept offers on their profile, so I had to update the listing for them to $6. They bought the item, and then about an hour later, they said, hi, can you please cancel the order? So after all of that, I had to go through this whole rigmarole, get it canceled. The item got relisted, but this happens all the time. It's very interesting. Relisted the item. Sold for $10 plus $10 shipping. So got a little bit of profit instead of a break even. So I'm happy with the outcome. So that is the last of the 3 items that we sold today. Let's go ahead and get these packed up right now. So we've got 3 things to pack up today. First up is this vintage 1996 Trapper Keeper. It's called Futuro City is the style. It's this like space age computer graphics-y looking vibe from the mid-90s. We found this at the Salvation Army for only a couple of bucks, and we sold it for $40 plus shipping. We also sold this Marvel Legends Tigra figure. So this is part of a lot that we got on Facebook Marketplace for 20 bucks. It had like 10, 15 figures in it. We've done really well on these actually. They've sold surprisingly fast. I thought we were going to sit on these for a long time. We are through most of them at this point. And then finally, we sold this vintage wooden canoe. We sold this for $40 plus shipping. And that is all the sales for today. But I actually do have one more thing to pack up. I am packing this copy of SSX Tricky I found at the game store for my brother-in-law. He set aside a copy of Katamari Damacy that he found for us on PlayStation 2. That was a game we were looking for a little while. He said he was looking out for SSX Tricky. I'm gonna mail this over his way today as well. Well, we're stuck inside with our toddler today anyway, and it's about 15 degrees outside, so we are gonna head over to the thrift store and subject him to flipping through junk, and hopefully we can find some things to flip for profit. We're gonna go to the thrift store. What do you think of that? Please, can we go to the thrift store?
No.
We'll find some toys there. How's that sound?
Good.
You wanna look for toys at the thrift store?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna find some things to flip, and we're gonna look for some toys at the thrift store. All right, here we go. They had this box of Thomas trains, which actually had some really nice pieces in it. The price was just too high. It would be a ton of work to make only just a little bit of profit. I think had these been about $15 to $20, it would have been a good purchase. They do hold some good value, but they're just slow sellers, so I had to pass on this, unfortunately. This Sony 5-disc CD changer caught my eye, and it was marked at 13 bucks. These disc changers hold a lot of value, especially ones from good brands. This one had solid comps and a fast sell-through rate, and of course I had to plug it in and make sure it works. And it does. It's very big, but I'm trying to slowly expand the types of items I pick up, so I'm going to take a shot on this one. So serious question, would you have even given this a second look if you saw it at the thrift store? Honestly, I would have walked right past it, but thankfully it caught my wife's eye. She came over holding this thing and with her hands literally shaking. We looked up comps. It goes for $300. It is one of the Christmas ornament grails if you're into collecting, and there it was, just sitting on the shelf at a thrift store for $2. We also picked up this unlock game for only a couple bucks. We love playing these, so this one is going to be for our collection. And I did some research on a few portable CD players they had. We've done pretty well with these in the past, especially Sony's. Usually we get around 20, 25 bucks for them, and this Sony Discman was worth picking up, especially only for $3. There is a little bit of corrosion on the battery contacts, but nothing I can't fix up, so we're going to grab this one. I also do pretty well with these AV switchers. Radio Shack isn't the best brand, obviously, but if they're cheap, I'll grab them. There's actually quite a bit of demand for them because there really aren't any large, reputable electronics brands making them anymore, but they also don't have S-Video like this one does. So I'm grabbing this, and I'll probably get about 15 to 20 bucks for it. Also, my 5-year-old swears she wants to be a scientist, and she loves these little experiment kits. Brand new sealed for only $3. These are like $20 at Target, so I'm going to stash this for her birthday. We also dug through this box of dolls because we noticed a Monster High doll sitting on the top. So these can go for about $20 on up, depending on when they came out, with, of course, the first few being the most desirable. We were hoping to find a few more, and we actually got lucky. We ended up getting 5 different dolls for about $20 total, and this should be about $100 in value. Honestly, that was one of the better thrift store runs we've had in a while. I think because we weren't quite so restricted on time, we ended up spending about an hour and a half there instead of our usual like 30 minutes to an hour. And we really got to dig today. I was surprised at how much stuff we found. And we spiked. We were just saying on the ride over here that we haven't spiked there in a while. We found that ornament, $250 on the conservative side. Like, that's crazy. That's the best item we found at a thrift store in a while. So last night we sold 3 items on eBay. This Lego Bionicle set, so it's Paraka 7137. We picked up a big bundle of these at a garage sale. I paid $60 for this huge lot. We're way into the profit already at this point, so these are pretty much 100% profit. I maybe paid 50 cents for this set. We got 11 bucks plus shipping, so pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, we're probably kind of giving this away, breaking even, maybe make $1 or $2 on this Hallmark keepsake ornament, but very exciting. Hallmark 1980 Frosty Friends Christmas ornament. I already put it in bubble wrap because I'm like afraid to break it, but I'll take it out of the bubble wrap so you can see it. There it is. $300 Christmas ornament right there. Absolutely bonkers. So we're going to get these all packed up right now. And I also have a big announcement. Cartridge Quest 64. And this was kind of my original vision for the channel all along. This is kind of what I've been doing anyway, is I use some portion of the profits to buy cool things that we like. And this year I decided to collect for the N64. It was the console that I grew up with as a kid. I remember getting it on Easter, actually. One time I was helping my dad load something into the trunk of the car, and I think he might have forgot it was back there, and we saw a glimpse of the N64 box. Maybe he had planned on saving it for another time, I don't know. But then a couple weeks later, we woke up on Easter morning, and then they sent us into their bedroom, funny enough. I think it was to keep it away from us from playing it for too many hours every day. And it was turned on, hooked up with the controller set up and everything with Pokemon Stadium running. So it was absolutely an amazing memory. We didn't have that many games for it, honestly. I think we had Smash, GoldenEye, Pokemon Stadium, and I think that was it. I think that's what we had pretty much our entire childhood. My wife grew up on the N64. Her favorite game is Banjo-Kazooie. And when we got married, our collections combined, and I just slowly added games over time. This past year, I went really hard on the N64 early on. It's just the nostalgia factor is so good for me. What my wife and I have worked out, and here's how the rules of this are going to work. After fees and taxes, whatever my profit is, I'm going to get to spend 10% of that on any N64 game I want. Now, I could save that up for a couple of weeks to get a more expensive game, not necessarily a better game, but to get a more expensive game. Or if I just have a really great week, I could go out and grab something. But there's a great local game store nearby that I like to go to. If I see games that are on the list that I don't have, I might just grab them and then, kind of pay for them later. But over the course of the year, I'm only going to be using 10% of my profit towards building this N64 collection. So I'm going to go get this posted up on my wall right now. Just so happy with how it came out too. Just designing the poster was kind of fun. All right, let's start crossing off games. The first 20-ish games I do have most of. So as of today, I have 47 out of 164 games. So actually this week profit, I got $287 in profit, rounding it up to $290. So I had $29 to spend. But so I spent $35. So I'm actually $6 in the hole going into next week. But I thought it'd be fun to kick us off with 2 games off the checklist. So those 2 games are Bomberman Hero and WCW NWO Revenge. Let's check those off the list right now. So that brings the total count to 49 out of my top 100 N64 games wish list. Hopefully this sounds like fun. I'm really excited about it. And if you want to see where this goes, please consider subscribing, as I will be finishing this top 100 N64 games list. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to drop a like and consider subscribing for future game hunting, game collecting, thrifting, reselling videos like this one. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.